Senator Elissa Slotkin slams Kristi Noem over her decision to deport American citizens.
Okay, pause for a second. Did you catch that? Senator Slotkin just accused a federal official of not being able to answer a basic question about deporting American citizens. That's not just a bureaucratic blunder, that's a potential constitutional crisis in the making. Buckle up, folks. This hearing's about to get wild.
We have a lot going on in Michigan as a northern border state, so we need each other. But what I'm concerned about is that you've taken the mandate to close off the border beyond going after, as you say, the, quote, most dangerous illegal immigrants. I'm a CIA officer. I worked my entire life to protect the homeland. If someone's here illegally, they need to not be here. They've committed a crime by being here. They need to go back to wherever they're from. But my concern is that either through sloppiness or intent, you have gone far beyond going after the, quote, most dangerous illegal immigrants and gone into legal immigrants who were given the ability to be here, and even Americans.
Here's your legal inside alert. When a U.S. Senator talks about no due process and no habeas corpus, that's serious. Habeas corpus is a foundational right. If the government detains someone and they don't get access to the courts, that's straight up unconstitutional. Think about that if it happened to a citizen. It could happen to anyone.
While I'll be the first to say, coming from a state that was won by Trump, that there is a mandate to do something about the border, I think it is absolute dangerous overreach to go beyond that and start picking up American citizens and people who have the legal right to be here, lawful immigrants who have done everything right. So first and foremost, do you acknowledge that your department has made some mistakes, any mistakes, in going after either American citizens or legal immigrants here in the time that you've been in office?
We have not deported any U.S. citizens
Detained?
or people get interviewed. If they get interviewed and they go through that process and if we find that they're U.S. citizens or legal immigrants, they stay in the United States.
Have you deported
we have to go through the vetting process.
Have any American citizens, including children, been deported during your time in office?
We have children that mothers have chosen to keep with them. So those
by my count, you have 10 American citizens, including children with cancer, who have been deported out of the country. I understand you're saying it's their choice.
But it's hard to imagine
a small child having a choice.
Wait, children with cancer, American citizens, deported. Let's sit with that for a moment. What does it mean when the system prioritizes rigid enforcement over basic human compassion? Let me know in the comments. Where do you draw the line between national security and moral accountability?
Don't decide who gets status through a student program. This Department of State decides that, and we enforce it.
Oh, come on.
That's what our Department of Homeland Security does.
I just would offer that, again, I have no qualms with going after folks who are here illegally. That is not my concern. That was part of my job, was to prevent people from coming here illegally in a former life. My concern is you're sending a chill down the spine of America by going after people who either have legal status or American citizens. And when my colleagues ask you about habeas corpus, and you say, literally, we can review the tape, that you believe it's a right the president has, you sat here in front of all of us and swore an oath to the Constitution, and that is not at all what habeas corpus is. It is a right that we all get, that American citizens get, that people who are in the United States legally have. So my concern is, it's complete overreach. I don't think American citizens, even those who voted for Trump, believe that you should be able to just grab someone off the street, sloppy, who has the legal right to be here, and certainly an American citizen. And I just am concerned that while you say you're going after the most dangerous folks, what you're actually doing is going after folks for political reasons, right? A PhD student that's unarmed is not at the top of the list.
And we're not deporting U.S. citizens, and we're not deporting people who have legal status here.
10 American citizens
If the children have gone
deported
with their parents, it's because their
let me
parents
ask you
wanted
another
them with
question
them.
about cybersecurity. You know, you've cut $500 million from the budget. What specific programs are you cutting? Because there are programs that really aid states and locals that we depend on for cybersecurity. And we know that right now, while we may have good security in the federal government, if you are a local state official, you're depending on the federal government. So have you cut The ISAC program, the program to states and locals on cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity cuts in 2025? Really? That's like putting a do not disturb sign on the Pentagon. Slotkin just called out DHS for slashing $500 million from critical cyber programs. That's not just a budget cut, that's leaving the front door wide open to cyber attacks. Can your state survive a cyber blackout?
What you've cut. I yield back.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here, Madam Secretary. I'm sure you've seen the recent reports that your agency is going to sponsor a reality show, TV show, in which immigrants would compete for U.S. citizenship. Is DHS seriously vetting a reality show for immigrants to obtain U.S. citizenship? Your spokesperson is quoted in the Wall Street Journal. I'm going to ask that article be in the record, Mr. Chairman, if there's no objection, saying that, quote, it's in the very beginning stages of that vetting process. Each proposal undergoes a thorough vetting process prior to denial or approval.
Sir, we have no knowledge of a reality show. There may have been something submitted to the department, but I did not know anything about this reality show. Until the reporter reached out, we told him we have no knowledge of it. We don't know what he's talking about, and they still printed wrong information. So that article, in fact, they had to change it later because they lied so bad, and they had us on the record saying, I had no knowledge of a reality show. The department didn't. There may have been something submitted somewhere along the line because there are proposals pitched to the department, but me and my executive team have no knowledge of a reality show, and it's not under consideration.
Your response is to confirm that you will not do a reality show.
There are no plans whatsoever to do a reality show.
And that your spokesperson was completely misquoted as saying that it was being vetted.
A reality show for citizenship? Yeah, you heard that right. At first, it sounds like satire, but if true, this raises serious ethical red flags. Should American citizenship be earned through civic process or reality TV drama? Drop your thoughts below because this one's a conversation starter.
Accomplishments. 21 million between January and April for transporting around 400 immigrants to Guantanamo Bay. About half of them were flown back to the United States. 6 million to El Salvador to imprison 300 individuals in a prison known for grave human rights violations, and many more, including $1,000 to immigrants wishing to self-deport. I understand one of the planes left within the last 24 hours. None of these expenditures are in your present budget. Aren't you going to run out of money before the end of this fiscal year? The continuing resolution doesn't cover any of them.
No, all the dollars being spent are being utilized as authorized and appropriately for the situation.
Well,
that flight that left yesterday,
though, under the continuing resolution or any other way that we normally authorize monies. You're just spending recklessly, and it would seem wastefully, without authorization. That's against the law.
Well, Senator, I completely disagree with you. I'm doing the job that the Secretary of Homeland Security is supposed to be doing, the one that the last secretary refused to do, that endangered the future of our country. What I'm doing is making sure we're enforcing our laws and that people who are here that are criminal, illegal aliens are returned home.
You're acting in a way you think you're doing your job, but
the American people told us to do
law.
this job. The American people overwhelmingly in the last election said, we want a secure border. We want to make sure that no longer are the scales of justice tipped in favor of criminals.
Your legal authority and spend money that is not in your budget.
All money is being spent according to how it is authorized and appropriately.
Let me ask you about the money that is being used to supposedly repatriate Afghan allies, refugees to this country from the Taliban, Ukrainians who have fled here from Russian aggression. Can you confirm that money is being taken from the foreign aid allocation?
Are you talking about the temporary protective status program?
Correct.
Yeah. So
the repatriation, supposedly, of those individuals here under the temporary protected status program.
Yeah, so we do have thousands of individuals that are here that have been protecting or been participating in the TPS program. That has been reevaluated to see if that program is still being utilized the way that it is supposed to be, as intended by Congress when it was laid out.
But there are
If that is
documents
always
that have
intended
been
to be.
publicly reported that say the administration is going to use money from the Foreign Aid Program, AID, to send those people back to countries where they will be persecuted, tortured, and perhaps killed.
We're encouraging.
This moment is huge. The senator is suggesting that Afghan allies, people who risked everything to help the U.S., are being sent back into danger using redirected foreign aid. If that's true, it's not just bureaucratic negligence, it's betrayal. Would the public ever stand for this if it were confirmed?
Of American soldiers and diplomats are going to be sent back to the Taliban using foreign aid money. Can you confirm that's the plan that's been reported in the Washington Post this morning?
No, I won't confirm that because that's not true. Those individuals have an opportunity to apply for asylum and other programs where they will be protected if their lives are in danger from the government that's in their country.
Can't
Time has expired. Senator Moody.
Thank you, Chairman Rand, and welcome. Thank you for being here. I think I can speak for everyone in this room and everyone in this country that you are a welcome addition as the head of DHS. And